Hey, what's up guys? My name is Moda and welcome back to the Mining Stacker YouTube channel. Today's video, we got word of a new miner, specifically an altcoin miner from Bitmain coming out. This is going to be a new miner they've never released before, and it's actually for a newer coin that hasn't even officially launched yet, right? But they did give us, seems like a sneak peek that they are working on it and that it is coming, which is very interesting, right? So we're going to go over that project and we're going to go over that whole realm of things to keep our eyes on, right? Because this is going to be something new and something that's developing for us to be able to use our hardware on, right? So we'll go over that here in a second. So if that sounds good, guys, stay tuned. And let's spoil the surprise, and it is for Aleo. Aleo, if any of you guys remember this thing, I'm not sure if any of you guys have really heard of it too much, but this is a zero knowledge proof project. This is one we mentioned way back last year, right? This is going to be a big privacy thing. Their testnet was running around the same time that Ironfish's was, and that's when I had talked about it last year when I was eyeing that Ironfish testnet. The reason I didn't do Aleos was because you had a KYC, and if you were in the US or Canada, you actually could not get rewards for participating. So that was going to be a no-go, although it's something I've been following since then, right? So even in that video that I talked about it, we're talking about how zero knowledge proofs were going to be a thing, mainly because it requires a lot of computational power to do these proofs. Meaning, for those of us with hardware, think GPUs, FPGAs, ASICs potentially, are going to have yet another use case for us to use our hardware in order to gain rewards, right? So this is fairly new. None of these have really come to mainnet. So it's going to be a while till we really see these things develop, but it's something we definitely want to keep our eye on, especially as hardware comes out, right? Because it's going to be very similar to mining. Same kind of, not necessarily the same concept, but we'll be able to use our hardware for it, right? So let's go to this real quick. This is from The Block. Bitmain plans to unveil mining rigs for Aleo blockchain. So the largest Bitcoin mining rigs manufacturer, Bitmain, plans to launch mining machines for Aleo, a proof-of-work blockchain that aims to achieve privacy using zero-knowledge proofs. So they didn't really give us a whole lot of info. If we go on Woo Blockchain on their Twitter account, they actually did have a direct link to the WeChat message they put out. If we go on it, it's essentially just saying that they're planning on launching one for it. No real timeline, no real info other than they intend to release one for it, right? Which is fairly interesting. It would be even more interesting if it comes out in time for launch, like their mainnet launch, which currently, this is from Aleo's website, which is aleo.org, which if you're interested, highly recommend reading up on it because it is very interesting and it's something that's coming, right? You're going to hear a lot about zero knowledge proofs, ZK rollups, zero knowledge rollups, which the rollups we're not necessarily too concerned with because that's a scaling solution. What we're going to be interested on the hardware front is zero knowledge proofs, right? Because again, we're going to be the provers in these type of marketplaces. In some cases, it'll be directly with a project. Others, it can be a pool where there's going to be different projects and they're able to pull from there. It's kind of new. It's kind of developing. We're not really sure how it's going to pan out other than we're going to be able to use it with hardware, right? Again, depending on the project. Some may be GPUs, some may be FPGAs, some may be ASICs. Time will tell, but it's definitely something I'm going to keep my eyes on just specifically for that reason, right? So again, early 2024 is when they're hopefully launching. A few months ago, they were saying potentially the end of this year, but looks like it got pushed to early 2024. So it'd be interesting if Bitmain does release in time for that, right? Another interesting development from another manufacturer. I don't know if you guys remember Superscaler. So I'm not even sure if this is their official website. It does seem like it is though, just because of the Twitter account that's linked to this website is very active in that realm, right? So that's the main reason I haven't been able to confirm officially, but it does seem like this is their website. Don't buy anything, don't do anything from this website, but just gathering information from it, right? So if we go on their Twitter account, that's what's interesting. So at superscaler_IO, they have been posting a lot of stuff regarding zero knowledge proof projects and specifically their hardware and their interest in it, right? So this is the reason, kind of seems like this may be it because they've been essentially like repurposing the K10. I don't know if you guys remember the K10 back with the first batch of big FPGAs that came out for Caspa. That's where it was popular. But they've been, I guess, repurposing, you can say, for zero knowledge proofs, right? And it seems like this is kind of the direction they're heading in. They seem to be like a pioneer in this space. So they've been talking about a few projects, and some of the ones that are in testnet. Specifically, they were talking about Tycho XYZ, which is another zero knowledge proof project that's currently in testnet. So this is another one we want to keep our eye on. They were just giving stats based off of if we go on their website, they do have a potential new one, the K11. And it's interesting because they specifically gave performance notes for these zero knowledge proof projects, which is Aleo, Tycho, Scroll. So they were giving this metric, it's kind of, think of it like hash rate, I guess. PPS is proofs per second, I think is what it is. Not 100% sure, but that's the metric that they were using to kind of like grade it from there. So pretty interesting. Again, not a ton of info. It's really hard to say like what's coming out here other than this is going to be a thing, right? We'll see. Hopefully, as some of these come to mainnet, like once Aleo comes to mainnet, which again is going to be Q1, but apparently Bitmain is going to take over that market anyway. But as some of these others come out, so like Tycho, however you say it, is going to be one to keep around. The other one is Scroll. Scroll's an interesting one. Also, their mainnet just went live, actually, literally just a few days ago, right? So pretty interesting. zkpool.io is another resource for like learning about things, just because they are like a pool for this, right? It's like a marketplace essentially for provers. Currently, they do have this Tycho one on testnet, so you can mess around with it. So pretty interesting stuff. Again, not a whole lot of info. We don't really know a whole lot. We know a lot about the projects and what their intentions are, right? If you look up zero knowledge proofs and what they're trying to do with it as far as like privacy, etc., etc. Very interesting, and that's why to me it was going to be a big narrative. Even last year we weren't talking about it, and it's kind of proving to be, right? There's a lot of these projects coming out, a lot of big investments from these other big companies, because even, for example, with Aleo, they're another one who does have a lot of VC money. A16Z was one, and quite a few others, so there's a lot of interest in it, right? Especially the fact that Bitmain decided to come make that announcement even before mainnet should kind of tell you something about it, right? So this is definitely something as miners, as people with hardware, need to keep our eyes on, because this may be yet another avenue for us to be able to participate in, right? To get more revenue coming in, right? So it's definitely pretty cool, pretty fascinating. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how these things actually end up going, right? Really, realistically, it's very early. We don't really have a whole lot of info other than it's probably going to be a thing in this coming year, right? 2024, 2025. I think we're going to hear a lot more about it because there's a lot of use cases and a lot of projects using zero knowledge proof technology, right? Between ZKPs or ZK rollups, you're going to hear a lot about it, right? So again, this is something we want to be forward thinking and want to try to look ahead and keep our eyes open for these things so that when the opportunities come, miners come, FPGAs for these things come out, something to note, right? That way we're kind of like prepared for it a little bit, and that way maybe look into these projects, right? It's going to be something pretty interesting, right? So again, not a whole lot of news other than just Bitmain is wanting to develop a rig for it. What it's going to entail exactly, we don't really know, right? Is it going to be like a server style thing? Is it going to be, we don't know. Like, is it for consensus or is it on the proving side? To me, it seems like it's going to be like a proving, like somebody had actually noted it on here that it's potential like a proving machine, right? Similar to like with this guy where this is going to be the metric, right? So hopefully as soon as potentially maybe they make an official announcement, we'll get some more info on it as to what it is. This is another one I'm going to keep my eye on these little super scalers, just because, again, it's been interesting. They've been a good Twitter follow just to find out what they're doing. And you can definitely see where they are leaning towards as well, right? So pretty interesting stuff. We're going to keep our eyes on it. We'll see how it goes. Let me know in the comments. Have any of you guys heard of Aleo? Are you guys kind of following any zero knowledge things? What have you guys heard, right? Or is this all brand new to you? But again, this is something we got to keep our eyes on. Let me know in the comments, guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching, and I am out.